Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Brajaganarandana Yashodanandana Brajaganarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Vandabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Vandabihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Brajaganarandana Yashodanandana Brajaganarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Jayam Vishwapad Paramahamsa Pri Vrajagacharya Stotra Satta Sri Simadhi Divine Grace Chiraboy Charandaravendra Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Skandibiti Founder Charya's Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai Namasarya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Samavata Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Jai Gaura Premanande all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Taksurumilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Parakamalam Shri Gurundai Vishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakantana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Pranamami Hare Vansakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Nara, Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Puranam Brahmasamitam
Puranam Brahmasamitam
Uttama Shloka Charitam
Uttama Shloka Charitam
Sakara Bhagavan Rishi
Sakara Bhagavan Rishi
Nishreyasaya Lokasya
Nishreyasaya Lokasya
Dhamyam Swasyayanam Mahat.
Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat.
This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantha, as the king of all the literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
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 Om Sarabhyaya Namaha
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 Mukham karoti vasalam tvangum langayate girin yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Vinataram Yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Vinataram. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to our morning Bhagavatam class. We are continuing from canto number 1, chapter 17, entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali. And today it is 17, right? Text number 17. Dharma uvacha
Dharma Uvacha
etad va pandaveyanam
Pandaveyanam
yuktam artha bhayam vacha
Vacha
yesham guna ganai krishno dhrutyadau bhagavan kritaha dharma uvacha etadva pandaveyanam yuktam artha bhayam vacha
Yuktam Artha Vacha
yesham guna ganai krishno
Yesham Guna Ganai Krishno
dhrutyadau bhagavan kritaha
Navyado Bhagavan Krita
dharma uvacha
Dharma Uvacha
etadva pandaveyanam
Etadva Pandaveyanam
yuktam artha bhayam vacha
Yuktam Artha Bhayam Vacha
yesham guna ganai krishno
Yesham Guna Ganai Krishno
dhrutyadau bhagavan kritaha
Navyado Bhagavan Krita
dharma uvacha
Dharma Uvacha
Etadva pandaveyanam Yuktam artha bhayam vachaha Yesham guna ganaya Krishno Dautyadau bhagavan kritaha
Dharma uvacha
Etadva pandaveyanam Yuktam artha abhayam vacha
Yukta Atha Bhayam Vacha
Yesham gunaganai Krishno
Yesham Gunaganai Krishno
Tyadau bhagavan kritaha
Dautyadau Bhagavan Kritaha
Dharma uvacha
Dharma uvacha
Etadva pandaveyanam
Etadva Pandaveyanam
Yuktam artha abhayam vacha
Yuktam Atha Bhayam Vacha
Yesham gunaganai Krishno
Yesham Gunaganai Krishno
Tyadau bhagavan kritaha
Dautyadau Bhagavan Kritaha
Dharma uvacha
Dharma uvacha
Etadva pandaveyanam
Etadva Pandaveyanam
Yuktam artha vayam vachaha
Yuktam Artha Vayam Vachaha
Yesham gunaganai Krishno
Yesham Gunaganai Krishno
Dautyadau bhagavan kritaha
Dautyadau Bhagavan Kritaha
Dharma uvacha
Dharma uvacha
Etadva pandaveyanam
Etadva Pandaveyanam
Yuktam artha abhayam vachaha
Yuktam Artha Vayam Vachaha
Yesham gunaganai Krishno
Yesham Gunaganai Krishno
Dautyadau bhagavat
Dautyadau Bhagavan Kritaha
Dharma uvacha.
Dharma uvacha
The personality of religion said,
The personality of religion said
Etat,
Etat
all these,
all these
Vaha,
Vaha
by you,
Vayu
Pandaveyanam,
Pandaveyanam
of those who are
of those who are
in the Pandava dynasty,
in the Pandava dynasty
Yuktam,
Yuktam
just befitting,
just befitting
Artha,
Artha
the sufferer,
the sufferer
Abhayam,
Abhayam
freedom from all fears,
freedom from all fears
Vachaha,
Vachaha
speeches,
speeches
Yesham,
Yesham
those,
those
Guna Gunai,
Gunaganai
Guna Ganai,
Gunaganai
by the qualifications,
by the qualifications
Krishna,
Krishna
even Lord Krishna,
even Lord Krishna
Dotya Adao,
Dautyadau
the duty of a messenger,
the duty of a messenger
etc.
etc.
Bhagavan,
Bhagavan
the personality of Godhead,
the personality of Godhead
Kritaha,
Kritaha
performed.
performed.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
The assurances and challenges made by Maharaj Parikshit are never exaggerations of his real. Huh? Translation.
You are reading purport, Maharaj. One.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I thought you meant Telugu translation. Translation. The personality of religion said,
The personality of religion said
these words
peaceful words
just spoken by you
just spoken by you
befit a person
befit a person
of the Pandava dynasty,
of the Pandava dynasty,
captivated by the devotional qualities
captivated by the devotional qualities
of the Pandavas.
of the Pandavas,
Even Lord Krishna,
even Lord Krishna,
the personality of Godhead,
the personality of Godhead,
performed duties
performed duties
as a messenger.
as a messenger.
Purport. The assurances and challenges made by Maharaj Parikshit are never exaggerations of his real power. The Maharaj said that even the denizens of heaven could not escape his stringent government if they were violators of religious principles. He was not falsely proud, for a devotee of the Lord is equally as powerful as the Lord, and sometimes more powerful by his grace. And any promise made by a devotee, though it may be ordinarily very difficult to fulfill, is properly executed by the grace of the Lord. The Pandavas, by their unalloyed devotional service and full surrender unto the Lord, made it possible for the Lord to become a chariot driver, or sometimes their letter messenger. Such duties executed by the Lord for his devotee are always very pleasing to the Lord, because the Lord wants to render service to his unalloyed devotee, whose life has no other engagement than to serve the Lord with full love and devotion. Maharaj Parikshit, a grandson of Arjuna, the celebrated friendly servitor of the Lord, was a pure devotee of the Lord like his grandfather, and therefore the Lord was always with him, even from the time when he was helplessly lying in the womb of his mother and was attacked by the blazing Brahmastra, weapon of Ashwatthama. The devotee is always under the protection of the Lord, and therefore the assurance of protection by Maharaj Parikshit could never be without meaning. The personality of religion accepted this fact and thus thanked the king for his being true to his exalted position. Translation again. The personality of religion said, "These words just spoken by you befit a person of the Pandava dynasty, captivated by the devotional qualities of the Pandavas. Even Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, performed duties as a messenger." So this is the personality of religion in the form of a bull beginning to respond to the various statements that we have read in the last few days, made by Parikshit Maharaj, who wanted to reassure him, both the bull and actually the cow, Mother Bhumi, representing Mother Bhumi, of his full protection. So here it's nicely being explained how the Lord is very kind and very actually indebted. The Lord actually becomes indebted to his devotees. Why does he become indebted to his devotees? To his fully surrendered devotees, to his pure devotees, because they are fully and completely engaged in his unalloyed devotional service. So although Krishna, the very word Krishna, as we know, means all attractive. Krishna is all attractive in so many ways. He has all the qualities, some glimpses of those qualities we find in the material world. Opulence, beauty, power, fame, renunciation. So, although the Lord is described as being all attractive, when he sees any of his surrendered devotees, such as the Pandavas, so many examples are there, of course, in the Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj, then the Lord actually becomes attracted, although he is the all-attractive personality of Godhead, but he becomes attracted actually to the bhakti element. Right? Krishna becomes attracted, and even he becomes conquered by his devotees. Just like we see in the examples of Vrindavan, when Krishna performs his pastimes in Vrindavan, he becomes even submissive to his devotees. Here, the example is given of how he becomes the chariot driver of Arjuna. He becomes a menial messenger. So this is what is especially important. What is actually the essence in spiritual life. That's where spiritual life is meant to culminate in terms of awakening or developing this bhakti element. And of course, this is dharma in the form of the bull is appreciating the words of Parikshit Maharaj, because Parikshit Maharaj, like his forefathers or his grandparents, the Pandavas, he is also a pure devotee. Means anyone who is adopting receiving this knowledge given in the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, anyone within the prescribed system that Krishna has given to humanity, the system of varnashrama, anyone within that system of varnashrama, whether one is a brahmana or whether one is Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra, because it is based on guna and karma, isn't it? The whole division of society is based on guna, qualities, and activities. So for those who are devoid of transcendental knowledge, their guna is within the three modes of material nature. But for one who is fortunate to receive this knowledge, this eternal knowledge, one of the questions yesterday was about Sanatan Dharma. So when one is fortunate to be introduced to the basic principles of Sanatan Dharma, regardless of one's duties or responsibilities in society, one can follow and apply these principles of bhakti or devotional service. That is what our more recent acharyas have especially, we could say, focused on, isn't it? Beginning with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, these principles of Daiva Varnashrama. The word Daiva is actually very important. Without the word Daiva, Varnashrama is incomplete. It has, unfortunately, been the situation for actually many centuries, and therefore that God-given system, that system created by Krishna, has in so many ways actually lost its proper meaning. And one of the very important, we could say, responsibilities for the devotees, and we could say that this especially has been highlighted since, in a very special way, since the time of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And it takes some time, our acharyas, they appear, they perform their activities, they give various instructions in the course of history. And one of the aspects which is actually very important, and which every acharya is expert in following, is the principle or the concept of Kaladesha Patra, time, place, and circumstance. So those who are Vaishnavacharyas, they are expert. And Srila Prabhupada is a prime example of this as well. Expert in preaching the message, the eternal message of Sanatan Dharma, but according to time, place, and circumstance. And in many ways, we could say, following in the footsteps of Narada Muni, because Narada Muni is, for us as devotees, a very special personality. He's, of course, one of the 12 Mahajans. Why is Narada Muni more, we could say, special? What is unique about Narada Muni that is important for us at this present stage, we could say at this present historical development. There are two special features that Narada Muni actually displays, which are, we could say, touching on the two essential features or aspects of Sanatana Dharma that we have been speaking about, actually in the last few days, especially yesterday. What does Narada Muni bring that is very unique? Anyone can say?
Propagation of the Lord name. Lord name propagation.
The Lord's name. All the acharyas bring the Lord's name. Especially in Kali Yuga, it is the Yuga Dharma, especially since the advent of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is already there, but there are two.
Service to the Lord.
Service to the Lord is
making devotees like Prahlad or Dhruva.
Making devotees like Prahlad, like Dhruva Maharaj. Yes,
Guiding lot of devotees.
yes. So that is quite close to one of the two features. Means Narada Muni specializes in bhakti, isn't it? The science of bhakti, the science of devotional service, which is, of course, being referred to here more specifically, that the devotees of the Lord, like the Pandavas, like Parikshit Maharaj, because Parikshit Maharaj is the grandson of Arjuna, and because Krishna was so affectionate to Arjuna and to all the Pandavas, of course, so he appeared personally, isn't it, to save, as mentioned here, Parikshit Maharaj when he was still in the womb of his mother. So bhakti is the element which is very unique, we could say, to Narada Muni. He travels sometimes in the material world, sometimes in the spiritual world, simply to sing the glories of bhakti or devotional service, which is, of course, the culmination of dharma, the culmination of transcendental or spiritual life, and which is, of course, the basic or the main quality for all living entities. We all have that nature, we all have that ability or tendency to perform bhakti. And it becomes awakened, of course, when we are fortunate to come in contact with those who are practicing bhakti. So that is one aspect, which is, yesterday we were referring to that aspect as the spiritual swadharma of all living entities, isn't it? And human form of life is especially meant to awaken that dormant propensity of bhakti. Bhakti, the essence of which is devotion, isn't it? Love and devotion, devotional service. It is meant to culminate in what we call premananda, the happiness that one can experience. Premananda, which Prabhupada also refers to as Sevananda. Premananda comes through seva, through service. The Pandavas, Parikshit Maharaj, and all such great personalities are exemplary in terms of rendering service. The more one is fully absorbed in rendering that service, then the Lord becomes more and more attracted and more obligated and reciprocates. That's also nicely explained in the second canto of the Bhagavatam. Those who take up the process of devotional service and become situated in the mode of goodness. Taking up to spiritual life means gradually becoming situated in the mode of goodness. So, evam prasanna manaso bhagavat bhakti yogataha bhagavat tattva vijnanam mukta sangha se jayate. That verse is nice explaining that when one comes to that mode of goodness, then he can begin to nicely engage in devotional activities. And by those activities of devotional service, by being engaged more and more in activities of bhakti, then Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam, Krishna begins to reciprocate, isn't it? Because Krishna is a person. And it's like in the material world also, when we meet or when we have some relationship, when we engage nicely in that relationship, then that person naturally reciprocates, isn't it? So the same, that reciprocation, that exchange originates actually, or the source of that relationship is from Krishna. So this is one aspect which is, of course, being referred to here. And the other aspect, why Narada Muni is so important for all of us, is that not only is he expert in the science of bhakti, in the science of devotional service, he is also expert in the science of varnashrama dharma, which is, we could say the other dimension which, for example, Parikshit Maharaj, as a very exemplary leader or king, demonstrates that by taking up the duties and responsibilities of a king, he, of course, from his very birth, he was born as a pure devotee. He was fortunate to be born in Vaishnava family. So, what we often are maybe not able to understand, or where we are possibly missing the connection, there's an intimate and a very direct connection actually with these two levels of dharma that especially Narada Muni is expert in presenting and explaining. Yeah, thank you. And what we sometimes are failing to understand is that, and this is brought out or explained by many of our acharyas as well, is that the system seemingly, well, actually it is, not seemingly, it is a material system, the system of varnashrama. But that system, because it is created or given by Krishna, is meant to facilitate, is actually meant to facilitate the development of our bhakti, is meant to facilitate and help us more quickly and more easily develop the spiritual qualities, which the combination of spiritual qualities, of course, are bhakti or devotional service. So in other words, especially we find in the pages of the first canto of the Bhagavatam, these two elements, these two aspects, which need to be combine, which need to go in a parallel manner. And in one sense, the material arrangement, the system of Varna and Ashrama is, in one sense, basic, although on another level, it is not dependent. In other words, one can develop, one can awaken one's bhakti or devotional service, just like Narada Muni is a prime example, of course, although a very small boy, simply by coming in contact, as we know, with Vaishnavas, within a very short time, he developed, he awakened within his heart bhakti or devotion to the Lord. There are various examples like this, but in general, for the very, let's say, vast majority of individuals, one needs to understand and to put into practice the fundamental features that make up actually the system of varnashrama. And inasmuch as the science of bhakti is a very involved and very deep subject matter, the science of varnashrama is also similarly a very deep and involved subject matter, for which, as devotees, as instructed actually by our founder Acharya, we need to give the necessary time and attention so that we keep in mind these two aspects or these two levels. So I'll just read again the translation as given here. This is in response to Parikshit Maharaj's various words given. This is the personality of religion, the bull, who is replying as follows. The personality of religion said, "These words just spoken by you befit a person of the Pandava dynasty. Captivated by the devotional qualities of the Pandavas, even Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, performed duties as a messenger." Which means that if Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, can perform such menial service, then we should not mind also. And generally that's how we are meant to begin. That's why Prabhupada explains how in the system of Gurukula, whether one is coming from Brahmana family or Kshatriya family, whatever, one is meant to simply, in the early stages, perform simple menial service, and in this way learn to become more and more a humble servant of the Lord. So we can take a few minutes if there's any comment or question on what we have read.
One question, Bharat.
Yeah?
So this science of Varnashrama, science of Varnashrama.
Yes, science of Varnashrama.
So if you follow science of Varnashrama, that you will also automatically come to science of Bhakti. Both are related, right? If you follow your duty based on your nature, then slowly you will also becoming a servant to Lord servant.
Yes.
Both are related.
So you're asking whether they are related?
Yes.
Yeah. Automatically, we need to see and understand the science of varnashrama as we understand the science of sadhana bhakti. In the Nectar of Instruction, we know how Srila Rupa Goswami explains that, although the goal is pure, spontaneous devotional service, it's called Krishna Prema, because of our being connected with the modes of material nature, we cannot immediately come to that level, so we begin at the lower level, which is called sadhana. Sadhana bhakti, then bhava bhakti, then prema bhakti are the three main divisions. So sadhana means following rules and regulations, not pure bhakti. Slowly, gradually, as we perform these rules and regulations, then the bhakti element comes in as the purification takes place. Similarly, the whole system of varnashrama, and I'll just read one important statement. There are many similar statements. It's in this canto also, chapter 9, text 26 actually, which is directly somebody underlined it here, okay, which is directly answering, the question. This chapter is entitled The Passing Away of Grandfather of Bhishmadev. So when Bhishmadev, as we know, is on his bed of arrows, although there are so many great personalities present, including Narada Muni, we're talking about the greatness of Narada. Narada was there, Vyasadeva was there, but Krishna chose Grandfather Bhishmadev to instruct, isn't it? To instruct Yudhishthira Maharaj. And he does so for many days, for many weeks, actually. The whole very elaborate, very important instructions that he gives, because Yudhishthira Maharaj is now the new emperor, not only the king, but the new emperor of the world. So what is the very first instruction that Yudhishthira Maharaj gives? And what is the commentary that Prabhupada also gives in the purport? I'll just read it briefly. The first, this is text 26. At Maharaj Yudhishthira's inquiry, Bhishmadev first defined all the classifications of castes and orders of life in terms of the individual's qualifications. That means Varna and Ashrama. The first instructions given by Grandfather Bhishmadev is in relation to Bhishmadev gave to Yudhishthira Maharaj is in reference to Varna and Ashrama. Then just hear attentively the very first line of the purport given by Srila Prabhupada. The conception of 4 castes and 4 orders of life as planned by the Lord himself, Bhagavad Gita 4:13, is to accelerate transcendental qualities of the individual person so that he may gradually realize his spiritual identity and thus act accordingly to get free from material bondage or conditional life. So when Prabhupada writes that this system means the system of varnashrama, which is, again, keeping in mind, is given by Krishna, therefore it is a perfect system. You see, it is to accelerate transcendental qualities. So it's directly connected with the question you're asking. It is meant to help us more quickly develop our bhakti. Why? Because the whole system of varnashrama is bringing us more and more quickly to the mode of goodness. It's not that we only perform varnashrama, we simultaneously perform as many of the recommended activities in terms of bhakti as explained by our acharyas as well. Both go hand in hand. But when we see, we need to understand, and this is another very important statement made by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in connection with Vaishnavas. Those who are Vaishnavas means they're especially focused on bhakti, devotional service, isn't it? So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions that the process or the system of varnashrama is for the Vaishnavas who are still in their conditioned state. Very clear and direct explanation. When we come in contact with devotees and when we take up the process of bhakti, we don't overnight become pure devotees. True or not true? Yeah, some may, all glories to them, but most don't immediately become pure devotees because we've been, the very word, nitya baddha. Nitya baddha means eternally conditioned. Actually, no one is eternally conditioned, but we have been connected and conditioned by these modes of material nature for such a long time that it is considered like eternal, nitya baddha. So it means it takes a long time to actually become disconnected, to release ourselves from these modes of material nature.